Held back. I can think of a few ways to understand the phrase, the two-word phrase, held back. Describing a student who isn't ready for the next grade level, needing more time to prepare. The student was held back in the 4th grade, but they excelled in school every grade after that. Describing a competitor keeping some energy in reserve for a late burst of speed. I think they really held back for the first 3 quarters of this race. Look at the energy they saved for the final burst of speed. Describing a person who seems to be restrained from achieving a goal. I don't know what held them back, but it's such a shame that they were never able to accomplish what they wanted to do. In today's reading, describing briefly Jesus' call of the first disciples, there are a couple instances of being held back. First, Jesus was held back. Jesus waited until John was arrested before starting his public ministry. Either he wasn't quite ready to begin, or held back on starting until John, who could have become a competitor rather than a herald, was out of the picture. And then the first disciples were held back. Simon, Andrew, James, and John had taken up the family business. But when Jesus called them, they immediately left and followed him. What held them back from leaving the family business and following a rabbi before? They weren't invited. Simon, Andrew, James, and John weren't called by any rabbis when they were younger to become a follower, a disciple. They were held back from doing what they dreamed of doing because the opportunity seemed lost. But when Jesus invited them, they followed him immediately, held back no longer. Think about that for a minute, because you probably haven't heard it that way before. But hold back reacting for a little while too. Held back is also about time, like the timing's not right. Wait a little more time. Take more time to prepare. Time like the time kept by your Timex watch. Who's wearing a Timex today? Does anybody wear a Timex anymore? Anyone wearing a Rolex? Because we need to talk later. Now, do you remember the commercials for Timex from the 50s, 60s, and 70s? This is John Cameron Swayze for Timex. Responsive chord? John Cameron Swayze, anybody? Yeah? Yes, I hope. Today, we've attached a new Timex watch to the underside of the Indy race car as it drives around the track at more than 150 miles per hour. The car would pull up. The watch would be removed and be shown to be working perfectly. Even with all that wear and tear, the Timex watch is still working perfectly. Just think how it will work for you. Timex. Yes. All right, maybe not everybody who's here today or people who are watching later remember the announcer, but they probably remember that catchphrase, Timex, it takes a licking and keeps on ticking. Time passes. Held back is about time. But there's also something different in this week's Bible reading, the reading about being held back. But the time isn't the kind of time that keeps on ticking. It's about a different kind of time. In Greek, I'm a pastor, I learned Greek, so I got to occasionally show it off. This isn't a big Greek one, though. The time that keeps on ticking is Chronos. I think Chronos is also one of the villains in the Marvel Universe, or one of those two. I'm not positive, but Chronos time. The time that keeps on ticking. Measured time. Chronographically. See? Big words. Chronos, chronographically. But the time Jesus was talking about in this week's passage isn't Chronos, it's Kairos time. Divine time. Perfect timing time. High time. Extraordinary time. Urgent time. The time has come. God's realm is at hand. Turn around from the way you're going and believe the good news. The time has come. That's Kairos time, perfect timing, urgent time. You feel it at significant moments with memorable speeches, moments where time seems to freeze and inspiration is everywhere. Like this brand new poem. Imagine time as a magical dance where moments are like colorful threads weaving a special story. Kairos isn't about ticking clocks, but about special, important moments. In Kairos time, we find magic in every heartbeat, making ordinary moments extraordinary. It's extraordinary time, perfect timing time, urgent time. In the Bible reading today, it's the time where the disciples were no longer held back. It's God's perfect time to move ahead without fear, held back no longer. Now, jump to conclusions. You're thinking about Peace Memorial Church. Urgent time. The time is now. Kairos time. The time has come. The time has come to live into vibrant and exciting ways of doing ministry, holding fast to the strong and helpful tradition, but to imagine more ways to be a vital congregation, to seek God's vision for Peace Memorial Church in 2024 and beyond. Or more practical, urgent time things, to increase income, pledges, offerings, fundraisers, rentals by 20% this year. We can do it. The time is now. To maintain and to revitalize Peace Memorial Church's campus in 5 years, 10 years, 25 years, and more. Urgent time. The time is now to get to work. To be committed to offering excellent opportunities for worship, engaging education, caring contact with all our members and with everyone. It's urgent time, extraordinary time. The time is now to lean in, to live as we believe, being called to serve, called to love our neighbor, and called to offer help and hope to the least of these, to live out God's life and be the salt of the earth, to continue Christ's ministry of healing, feeding, and teaching, and offer an extravagant welcome to all. It's our mission statement. And let's be clear, we have to be careful not to make this urgent time, this extraordinary time, this perfect timing time, this kairos time, about something selfish or self-serving. God's timing is about following Jesus without being held back. It's about being willing to trust that following Jesus with all that we are is the course in front of us. It's about being able to ask in our lives, what is keeping us held back? Is it something we're still just not ready for, but will be soon? Are we saving something for the right opportunity to come along? Do we feel restrained because of fear or something else? And are we willing to respond? Jesus said, "Follow me, and I will make you fishers of men." Fishers of people in our translation today. But that Sunday school song you remember, "Follow me, and I will make you fishers of men." Another translation says, "Now you'll be catching people." Not in the gross way, like fish. You're going to be gathering the people. Follow me, and I will make you fishers of men. It's so much more than that Sunday school song. Let's sing it now. Amen.